Hey everybody, Brian and John here from the Project Algerine team. Today we're going to go check out the first movie theater and the location of the Massassauga Point Hotel.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Erie, Pennsylvania. So much history in one little place. But how did this once seemingly small shipbuilding community transform itself to what we see today? Let's take a look at these historic events tonight on Project Algerine.
Hey everybody, we're down at Sara's Campground. We've just set up Project Algerine Base Camp. We'll be filming around here for the next couple days. We're staying down here. So we wanted to take our time and explore the property, so we thought it actually would just probably be best if we pitched a tent down here for a few days. So we've set up Base Camp 1. This is Project Algerine's Base Camp 1. And this is going to be our home base for the next few days, so should be fun. Yeah, I do want to point out, guys, that we do have permission to be here, so do not just come down here and take a look around without get a campground, get a campsite.
It's awesome.
Our first stop was to find the location of the old dance hall. It was once located on the eastern edge of the property.
So this area over here is where the dance hall was. I always found it interesting too is you could see the steps of the dance hall.
Yeah.
In one of these photos I'll put up, and kind of zoom in on the steps of it, but they would have emptied out right about here, and so that's how people would have came out of the dance hall, and then the hotel would have been over there. Right about there though is where that dock would have let people off, right about there.
Want to go
To the thicket there? No. I'll pass on that. Yeah, right about here was the main dance hall. And I think this is where they did the Vitascope theater. All right, so it all goes down in 1896, all right? Thomas Edison debuts what he called the Vitascope in New York City. And then by July, they were manufacturing them and they were putting them out. And these were basically the first projection type movie theater equipment. He didn't invent it, he bought the patent, and
That's what they did back then.
Yeah, and he was just producing it, and he ended up, it was only in production from, let's say, July till November. It was really that brief time.
Okay.
And then they, after that, he put out his own projection theater equipment. But the Vitascope Theater, it says opened in New Orleans on July 26th, 1898. Or 1896, yeah, you're right. And so, but here, it opened on July 20th, a full 6 days earlier than that. So, you know, whether or not New Orleans actually does have the first theater is kind of up for, you know, discussion, I guess. Yeah, because, you know, I mean, they're using the exact same equipment. I mean, they claim to be using the Vitascope, which is, this place had the Vitascope. So
seats, were there seats?
There were seats. They bought 300 chairs from the Union City Chair Company, and
Charged to get in?
they charged to get in. They charged 15 cents.
Oh, wow.
So this was, as far as I'm concerned, the first paid movie theater was right here. And I'll put up a thing on the screen of why I think it was in their dance hall, was because they built an outdoor dance hall up here.
Okay.
And then if you look at this picture that I'm showing you, it's obviously taken during the summer because the leaves are green on the trees.
Yep.
There's somebody boating over here, and then there is the women have parasols to block the sun and stuff. But if you notice, the things are all closed. The shutters are all closed on the building.
Yeah.
So I think that's because this is a picture of that Vitascope theater. I think this picture may have been taken that summer in 1896.
Yeah.
You know,
Next, we wanted to find the location of the Switchback roller coaster, which had been constructed in 1888.
So do you just find the road came like towards us and then down, or like that?
well, it was like a ravine between two hills that went like a V. Yeah, two things where two slopes come together. There's like a ravine there. And then, but the trolley, oh, you can still hear the ravine fire. So the trolley would have let people off up there, and then they would have had to make their way down. Now what's interesting about that is that there's a story that talks about in 1891 that the new landlord wanted to get rid of the roller coaster.
Oh.
Speaking of roller coasters.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Why, noisy?
what his problem was that the trolley company had said, well, they can move the trolley tracks. They could bring it down here theoretically, but they'd have to move the roller coaster. That was I think that was their excuse to not move it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the roller coaster, I believe, was right here. Actually, it started here and it went 300 feet that way, and there were two towers built. Okay, it was a Switchback roller coaster. It was built in 1888. Okay, and the previous landlord, James Campbell, had it built. And what it was, I'll try to throw up a diagram on the screen to show you what it was. But it was essentially two towers, and the car would get lifted up through a cable through the center tower. People would walk up and get on it, and and then they'd go down the one side and it'd go to the next tower, and then it would turn around, come down, and then it would let them off, and then the car would go back up the. It was pretty crude, but it worked.
Yeah, it's a thrill.
But that was right here. You would have seen two towers, and as a matter of fact, the reason why I found it, the location of this, was because in the newspaper they talked about having to move this. And then if you look at one of the pictures, you can still see what I believe is one of the towers. It looks just like it would have been in the diagram.
Yeah.
In the so that would have been right along here.
Our next stop on this journey takes us over to Sally's Diner over near Peninsula Drive.
All right, originally this was Ciro's Diner in Norwin, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then it was moved to Butler, Pennsylvania, and served there for a while. This is a 1957 Mountain View Model 522, I believe. It's in great shape.
Yeah. Looks like they use it for like storage or something.
Yeah. It's really nice looking, you know. I mean, it's a sharp looking diner. You just don't see these too often anymore, anywhere. So I just wanted to take a couple passes by this because that's beautiful. Yeah, that is so cool. We are gonna go get some lunch. We're going next door. We're going over to Sara's to get some lunch. We have to stop to get a cheeseburger.
After a quick bite to eat, we made our way over to where the Erie Motor Company had their trolley trestle.
Okay, we are walking up a noisy Peninsula Drive right now because there's something up here I wanted to point out. Yeah, there goes the flyer. Ravine Flyer 2 just went by. Okay, so what we're looking for is actually over here. We're gonna cross up here and walk down into here a little bit. We're still gonna stay on the property. Now, I'm gonna tuck in here so the sound isn't so bad. Okay, so this part is just really cool to me. This, yeah. Right here, this is where the trestle once ran. From this small little clump, you see up top there?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of that whole bluff that goes that way. And you can kind of see it that way. All right, and then this one over here, they said it's about, what was it, 60 feet high? And it was a short span, but right there is where the trolley trestle was. Right there.
Okay.
And another interesting fact is that they said the sand back here was like quicksand.
Okay.
And that it was really, you know, not stable to build on and stuff like that. And you can kind of see from some of the overheads that over the years, some of the sides have collapsed in a little bit.
Okay.
But it said that the sand around this area was so fine that they used it for the cement plaster that was used in the Charles Strong's house down there on 6th and 6th and Peach Street there. Yeah. So it talks about a team of horses they had to come down from up by where Funtown is at the time and come down through here to get this sand out of here because there was no way.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, that is where that trolley was. Right across there. This little creek that runs through here at one time was the one that was running through over between Calso Beach and Waldemere's Beach, and this is what filled up their ponds back then. And now it's been extended over to here to hook up with this other stream that runs down here. And this is the creek that ran past the Algeria farm. It comes out here. And we are, you know, like on the bottom side of this bluff here. All right, on the other side up there is the Tom Ridge Environmental Center, and Waldemere's roller coaster turns around right about up there. But this is where the trolley would have crossed, right across over there and onto that side, and then ran along the bluff going down this way and on. So we're gonna go check out some of these other places, and we'll see what we can find.
Now we wanted to make our way over to the main hotel site.
All right, so right here, we're gonna try to line up a shot here. is right about here is where there was a turnaround, and the hotel would have been right here. All right, and I got another shot of that from further back. We'll try to light up too. Okay, so here's about that area from a different angle here. Let's see what we can try to get you. That would be right about there, let's say. So this is actually one of the most historic spots in Erie, believe it or not. But I mean, when you think about all the
well-to-do, wealthy people who came here.
Yeah, to get horses from the Algeria farm, they would have all stayed down here and went up there to pick out their stuff. Yeah, they would have stayed right down here where we're at. And that's where this area was. When you think that, you know, judges and governors and, you know, everybody, the who's who of Erie stayed at this hotel in the day. And, you know, another interesting thing to bring up too is that, you know, the battle between the trolley company and the Scott estate for down here was pretty brutal. They so Waldemar's argument was to the Scott estate was, hey, you know, technically you really don't own this land down here, that your land only goes to the water's edge, the bluff here. And at the time that this was surveyed originally, there was no land here.
Right.
It was all waterfront. So they're like, hey, you know, just because land shows up in front of your land, it doesn't mean that it automatically becomes your land. You know, and then I think Waldemar kind of was like, well, if that's going to be our argument, we're going to lose the beach ourselves over there. And hey, everybody, that's all the time we have for today. But thank you very much. We'll see you again.
Of nights that used to call lakeside view where time slowed down in this small forgotten town. The breeze carried that sweet sound of laughter long gone underground. Massassauga blues under the moon. Hotel dreams where stories bloom. Old walls sing a forgotten tune as a song of blue.